The Bit 16, you've never seen a review like this. Weird old games you cannot tame, this world that you miss. SNES Man is the champion, he is 16-bit. SNES Man is the champion, he is 16-bit.
Hello, my name's SNES Man. You probably know that LucasArts made a bunch of Star Wars games for the Super Nintendo in the 90s, but did you know they also made an Indiana Jones one? Yeah, they packed the events of all three movies into one cartridge, and they called it Indiana Jones's Greatest Adventures. It's a fairly common, inexpensive game, but lots of people still don't know about it. Is it worth our time? Is it worthy of President Harrison Ford's legacy? Well, let's get down to gaming and find out. The game begins with the first scene of Raiders of the Lost Ark, where Indy explores a forgotten temple in Peru. Your first task is to break apart a piece of the scenery and, in a Simon Belmontian stroke of splendor, find the whip. The whip is your best friend in this game. It functions a lot like the whip from Super Castlevania 4, except you can't attack diagonally and down at the same time. But otherwise, it's a powerful and useful move that will get you through all types of horrors. Even the first level has a couple horrors, just to curb your ego. There's pesky little bats, temple natives, and worst of all, totem poles that spit darts at you. You have a health bar so you can withstand a few hits, but they're still a pain because they block your path. Level 1 expects you to pay attention to a lot of tiny little enemies and annoyances, and even roll through a narrow passageway with the A button. If you've ever played the Super Star Wars series for the Super Nintendo, you'll recognize the controls right away. They're pretty responsive, jumping is quick without any floatiness or suspended gravity, and the whip hits nice and fast with a corny whoosh sound effect. You also get a pistol later in the game, which is quite powerful. It has infinite ammo, and it fires way faster than the whip, so it's good at killing enemies who throw projectiles. But it's also rarer than the whip, and sometimes you can't find it. I wish you could just keep items between stages. This is a well-programmed game, but the downside to using that same LucasArts Star Wars engine is its awkward damage system. Every time an enemy hits you, you lose health. There's almost no period of invincibility afterwards like in Mega Man, Metroid, or Castlevania, all games that use health meters to a wonderful effect. Indiana Jones isn't broken by its awkward collision system, but it does get frustrating when enemies swarm you and there's a million things on screen and you don't have anywhere to go. The levels in Indiana Jones are very challenging, but I do enjoy them. In most cases, you can triumph over them with a little bit of trial and error. Some of my favorite moments were fighting soldiers in the Himalayan mountains, roaming the streets of Cairo, and riding a yellow raft in the snow. Yes, Indy, use the hostess Twinkie as your steed and ride to victory. Or just smash into a tree, that works too. Since the developers packed 3 movies into one game, they had a lot of brilliant, exciting moments to choose from. And they did a good job picking the good ones. The famous rolling ball scene is nail-bitingly scary and hard to beat. And it's just the second level. Even harder is the minecart level where you have to shoot switches with your pistol or else you fall into the lava. It's easy to screw up and shoot twice, so my advice is this. Go nuts like a Y-button Rambo on the obstacles in your way, but treat the switches like dainty flowers that must be plucked individually with care and grace. Oh god, did I just say that aloud? Let me reword this with a shred of testosterone. Shoot stuff, you'll win. Another level that'll make you want to pull out your hair is the aerial biplane battle. Seriously, how do you think my hair got this long? It's the scene in Last Crusade where Indy's dad, Sean Connery, pilots the plane and Indy shoots a bunch of Nazi enemies out of the sky. Well, in the game, an overwhelmingly LucasArtsy objective is that you have to destroy 20 planes to move on. The only way to possibly do this is to hide at the bottom of the screen and circle around, waiting for a lone plane to emerge so you can bully it. If it doesn't have any teammates defending it with cover fire, you actually have a chance of shooting it without it shooting you. I don't know if you're picking up on my vibe, but these quick death 3D levels are hard. But that's okay because Indiana Jones is the kind of game that toughens you up and puts hair on your chest so you can be more like Harrison Ford. It teaches you to grunt at your problems like a 16-bit robotic ape and adventure on unfazed. Oh, good lord, the sound effects are pretty awful in this game. At least the music is lifted right from the movies and it sounds good. I feel like Indiana Jones's Greatest Adventure was a rare treat in a way. It was a tight, quick-paced game that combined the plots from multiple movies into one cohesive package. I think movie-based games work best when there's plenty of source material to include, so you don't have to invent nonsense. Cough, cough, Home Alone, cough, cough, every 16-bit Disney game other than Aladdin. The game length in Indiana Jones is perfect. It has about 24 levels, so you're not going to beat it in one sitting, but it's also not an endless dragger-oner that recycles levels. Everything feels pretty fresh, even if it's really hard. To get you through, there's an adjustable difficulty level and an easy 4-character password system that uses Greek letters. Greek life, bro! But here's where the fun ends for casual players expecting a fun romp through Hollywood-inspired whimsy. The continue system is treacherous. Before playing, heed my warnings or else face a pestilential, purgatorial gloom of game overdom. So, say you lose all your lives. No big deal, right? Yeah, just go to the continue screen, laugh at the silly-looking Sean Connery close-up, and then get back to business, right? Wrong! You think this is just a game? This is cold reality, Junior, and it stings like a bitch. You get sent back to wherever your last password checkpoint was, not your current level. That means you can get sent back up to 4 levels, where you have to try again with a new set of lives. And not very many. 5 is the easy mode allotment, I believe. Try beating a world with 5 lives, and then facing an insta-death level like the minecarts or the snow raft. Now you grasp the severity of your situation. Lots of people with kind of fuzzy memories of this game have a selective memory and forget how difficult this part of it is. But I'm kind of a glutton for pain, and I'm amused by cheap game mechanics like this. I love that chance to test my bravery against a stubborn, relentless piece of gaming history. And you know what? I beat the game after a few weeks of that mentality.
Things to make it better.
Continuing at your current level, not at the beginning of the world. A smoother damage system that allows invincibility periods. The ability to keep items, like the gun and whip, between levels. Better sound effects. Music is fine. Indy's grunts, not fine. Indiana Jones' Greatest Adventures is inexpensive, on par in quality with the Super Star Wars series, if not better, and a challenging but rewarding game if you overcome the flaws. It scores a 7 out of 10. If you're an Indiana Jones fan and you've got a Super Nintendo, buy this one. Do yourself a solid. I'm SNES Man, and I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope to hear what you guys think about the game. I read every single comment I get, even if I don't respond to all of them. So, know that there's someone out there who wants to hear your opinion. Me. It was great talking to you guys, and I look forward to our next meeting. Goodbye, au revoir mes amis, and adios.